Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the midweek fundamental and technical analysis. I'm not sure if Kwame is going to be joining us tonight. We'll see by the time I wrap up the technical analysis, but we are about to jump into it. So, with that being said, as always, let me give a quick disclaimer. This is not financial advice. Anything that I share during this analysis is for educational purposes only. I repeat, this is not financial advice. Anything that we share during the fundamental and technical analysis is for educational purposes only. Cool beans? Cool beans. Let me get my screen up. I almost forgot I was going to do the whole recording without even sharing my screen. Glad I caught that. All right, let's get into it. Looking back at Monday, if you was in class Monday night, I told you guys that, or if you review the beginning of the week analysis on YouTube, then I told you guys that I wanted to see us reach up into this weekly PD array, right? I wanted to see us reach up into that level and see how we reacted to that level. Would we push through it aggressively? Would we push through the 79% level aggressively and close above it? Or would we respect it and push back down? So on that Tuesday, which was the next day, we seen price reach up higher, but we did not make it to the level, right? And then we ended the day to the downside. And so that was a good support that we seen Tuesday. Give me 1 second. All right. That was a good respect of that level that we seen Tuesday, and then you see what price gave us today, right? Very aggressive to the downside, back down through the monthly buy side liquidity, right? So now, um, we do have high impacting news every day for the rest of this week. And so with us pushing back down through this daily volume imbalance, right? I would like to see us continue lower, right? I do anticipate price pulling back up to fill in some of this imbalance that this down candle created today, right? But I would not like to see us break back above this daily volume imbalance. So I would like to see us respect this volume imbalance and continue lower. As if price even gets up to there. If we're talking daily PD array, then we're looking for price to come up right there near it. So, yep, right there near that daily volume imbalance. And that's why I would like to see price continue lower from, right? This was very aggressive today, right? So that's what I'm expecting out of the dollar going forward for the rest of the week. Um, so with that being said, looking at currencies, sorry about that. With that being said, looking at currencies, I would like to see a pull back down into today's discount raise, right? And I would like to see us continue higher for Euro USD. Same thing with the pound. I would look like for a pullback back down into today's discount area and continue higher. Same thing with NZD. Pull back down into today's discount area and continue higher. All right. Cool beans. Cool beans. Um, Looking at futures. last but not least, I want to see us push higher. I told you guys Monday that I wanted to see, or I expected price to pull back down into the daily PDL range from March the 20th, right? This candle right here, these levels right here. We were here Monday. I told you guys that I wanted to see us pull back down into these levels and see how price reacted to those levels. Well, we see how it reacted. We did not close below them, and today we closed above them. So I expect Euro USD to continue. I'm sorry. I expect E-mini S&P to continue higher, to run this buy side liquidity. All right. That's what I would like to see out of E-mini, S&P, and the same thing out of NQ. Right? Same thing. I told you guys Monday. I wanted to see us pull back down to the 79%, right? I told you that we came here last week, right? Came very close to that level, but we didn't get it. And I told you guys Monday night that I wanted to see us pull back down into this 79%, right? And see how we react there. Closed above that 79%, and today we closed above the 62%, right? So I expect us to continue higher. I would like to see NQ run this weekly buy side liquidity, right? And I'm thinking that the high impacting news drivers that we have for the rest of the week will be the catalyst to get us back up there to those eyes to that weekly buy side liquidity. And that will conclude the midweek technical analysis. So, with that being said, at this time, I will pass it over to Corman so she can give us the midweek fundamental analysis. It's all yours, Corman. Take it away.
Alrighty. So I plan to keep fundamentals relatively short just because I actually covered the majority of what I wanted to cover for the week on Monday. I am going to share my screen um so that you guys can see the Forex Factory calendar as I cover a few of these news items. So um markets are not correlating with news. Granted, a lot of news right now is following, um, well, it's supposed to follow US news. It's not. Um, European news isn't even tracking with Euro USD, GBP USD. So nothing's really correlating. Which tells me that something interesting is about to happen in the market. So if you ever have a question about is the market favorable for trading? And when I say favorable for trading, I mean like when people see like trends in the market, uptrends, higher highs, higher lows, lower highs for downtrend in the market. Um, Typically your news items are going to correlate with what you actually see in that trend. When there is no trend in the market and the market is pretty much trading what people would say in a consolidative manner or trading sideways, nothing's going to correlate. When you have a period of time where news is not correlating with how the markets are moving, and then you start to see news correlating, however that correlation is set up is where the market's going to go. Because that is going to be your catalyst to propel the markets. So like right now, for instance, when you look at the currency pairs, when you look at the dollar, And you don't really see a true pattern when you zoom out. It's like, okay, well, if you zoom in, yeah, you might see something, but you have to look at these items and know that these news items that we're looking at, for instance, like with Euro USD, this news that came out for the euro early this morning, that's year over year. So if you're looking at an hourly time frame, it's not going to make sense for you to say, oh, well, Euro USD is trending up, but this news is bad. Now granted, when you do look at it on a shorter time frame, let's say like a daily, or you could maybe say a 4 hour to 8 hour time frame. Given that we did have news that came out and that markets didn't necessarily correlate with that, it's like, okay, well, that might be something. But when you zoom out and you really look, there is no true pattern to how Euro USD is moving. It's moving on a larger scale in a very consolidative manner. So when you see these news items that don't correlate, again, for instance, we had US news that came out today. There were more jobs that were filled and created than forecasted. So that was positive news. Then we got some news from ISM Services that was a little bit mixed. Jerome Powell spoke today. We had OPEC meeting, which actually I call it like the junior OPEC, or like the OPEC meeting for everybody. It's like the family reunion, so to say, where everybody comes in, including the US, on that news. So given that news was mixed for the US and it was, according to this, negative for the European Union, you would have had a thought process or an idea of where you thought markets were going to go. It didn't. So going through the rest of this week, we do have high impacting news. The highest impacting news we have, though I'm not skipping over unemployment claims and the speeches for tomorrow, um, the news that everyone is really looking forward to is coming out on Friday because it is NFP news. So, um, whenever this news comes out, my my goal, what I plan to do when this news comes out, is to actually see what the market's doing before this news comes out. What is the market doing when this news comes out? And is there a pattern to the markets versus the news? Because if this news is bad, but you have a strong trend up from the dollar, like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Um, Also, that same concept applies to um the stock market. And I'm just going to say the stock market just because there are a lot of index funds, there are a lot of indices that can be looked at and traded, but they all don't necessarily correlate. There's so many. Most people just focus on the big three, NAS, S&P, and the Dow, but the smaller um indices will actually give you a really good indication of how the market is trending. But I say all that to say, when you are looking for correlations in the market, make sure that you are paying attention in a very broad manner to everything that's going on, because it's really going to help to give you perspective into how to set up your trades. So that's that for um the Forex Factory calendar. Now, for cryptos, I haven't spoken a whole lot about cryptos in a couple of weeks, but I will say this. Um, I'm trying to choose my words wisely. Um, okay. So there are a lot of people who have stuff to say about crypto. If you are choosing to listen to anybody when it comes to crypto, make sure that you're following and listening to someone who's actually posted and talked about crypto good days, bad days, sunny day, rainy day. Because if when you scroll through and look at someone's content, or you're listening to someone or reading someone's tweets and they only talk about crypto when crypto's like in a bull market or at its high, I don't want to hear what you have to say because you didn't have anything to say when cryptos were down. Also, if people can't if you still have people who are saying that the crypto market is independent, it's a way to get away from the bankings. If you have people still giving you that narrative, don't listen to them. I can confidently tell you not to listen to them because if you have someone telling you that um the that crypto is a way to get away from banking, they haven't been paying attention to crypto for the last 18 months or so. Actually, a little bit longer than that, but for real for the last 18 months. If if cryptos were not associated with the banking system, we wouldn't have Bitcoin ETFs. We wouldn't have funds that are set up to go into people's retirement or funds set up so that people can add them to their retirement accounts, funds, um, investments, or whatever you want to call it. We wouldn't have that, but we do, which means that if you look at how ETFs have to be structured, there has to be a certain amount of money. There has to be a certain amount of backing to that to in order to say, you know what, we're confident that we have enough assets to support this fund, this ETF. Um, mutual fund, there are a couple mutual funds, but the biggest highlight has been put on the exchange traded funds. So that's that point about it. But also, if you have someone telling you no, banks aren't involved, well, you have the largest bank on the planet that has began to tokenize assets, um and um they have well over, I think at this point, almost $200 billion um included into this fund of tokenized assets. So that's that. But then not only that, if that person or if whoever you're talking to is still on this whole, Bitcoin is the wave because of being independent from banks and whatnot, they probably can't tell you or probably wouldn't be able to tell you what was the largest seizure of Bitcoin. And if they knew what the largest seizure of Bitcoin was, they would know that there was a transaction from that account into another account very recently. And for those people who say that crypto is not, the government's not associated with crypto, well, I can tell you that the largest seizure of Bitcoin was Silk Road. And the Bitcoin that was seized from Silk Road has been transferred out of that account. So for anybody who's going to tell you, yeah, the government isn't involved in crypto because they haven't passed regulation, well, the government seized the Silk Road Bitcoin and they just transferred it out to the tune of some almost 33 to 35,000 Bitcoin. So yeah, for anybody who wants to tell you, all it takes is a little bit of research. All it takes is just following certain accounts and just watching Bitcoin move around. That's the luxury of Bitcoin being on an open ledger, is you can actually see these huge transactions happen in real time. And if you're wondering where it went, obviously don't necessarily know who owns the wallet, but it went to Coinbase. So um whoever owns that wallet, it's a Coinbase wallet. They say it was sold, and I'm not too keen on the idea that it was sold. However, this is just my thought process. This isn't necessarily what happened, and I'll probably can get this out in 2 or 3 minutes. Um, is either A, it was a asset exchange from the government to another entity. Two, they truly did sell it because if you go um uh anyway, whatever, I'll just say it. So when the government has seized Bitcoin in the past, they actually put it on their asset seizure website to auction it off. So you would have been able to buy Bitcoin that they seized from people. So it is possible that someone bought it, but to buy that much Bitcoin and all at one time, A, that person has to have a lot of money, and they had to be affiliated or know someone that knows someone in the government to be able to get that transaction to go through, because it's never been listed on the asset seizure website. The most Bitcoin that's ever been listed there has been like between 5 to 10 Bitcoin. And this was like years ago, um, when the government felt like Bitcoin was super useless. Um, so that, or when I said earlier, like an asset transfer or exchange, that could be between the government and a banking entity. Also, it could be between the government and Coinbase. But obviously now it's just a wait and see type of game, see where that Bitcoin is going to go, if it goes to a known account, um, and just to see, how it gets divided up, if it does, and whatnot. So, the biggest thing I can say about cryptos right now is please pay attention to the big, I guess you could call it the big three. Um Ethereum, because Ethereum is really being pumped by a lot of banking systems right now, a lot of asset tokenization and a lot of asset transfers that are being done in the banking systems being done on the Ethereum network. Obviously Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is the premier front running cryptocurrency, and then XRP, because XRP is in litigation. I mean, the litigation is still going on, and it's for the most part working out in Ethereum's favor. But then also because international banking systems are really pushing for XRP usage, that and Stellar Lumen, but um, definitely Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. Um, and um, let's see.
Did you say
Uh,
Stellar Lumen?
I did, yeah.
You know who
Listen,
else is associated with those guys, right?
the World Economic Forum.
Uh-huh. And something that we've all been mining for about 5, 6 years now.
Hi.
Woohoo!
Yeah. Um, but because the World Economic Forum is associated with XRP and Stellar Lumen is the reason why those two are important. I highlighted XRP over Stellar Lumens just because XRP is it's the larger but more well-known platform. But don't sleep on Stellar Lumens though, because there's a lot, and I mean a lot, that's written on that platform, that or written as, with that being the backbone, I should say, that a lot of people aren't even talking about. Um, but if I had to highlight and pay attention to any, it would be those. We are still in the time where, as cryptos pump, you're always going to have people that try to come out with a new coin. Your best bet is to stick with the ones you know and to stick with the ones that actually have a use cause and case for them. Because while it might be cool to put, I don't know, $100 into Sheeb or something like that, and potentially turn that into $1,000 and whatnot. Um, a lot of those cryptos end up being a pump and dump type game. And we are going to get to a point, just like with everything else, history repeats itself. And I can't say this enough. We are going to get to a point, we've already had it happen a little bit, where coins are going to start thinning out, and you're going to start watching and seeing coins disappear, and you're going to be like, well, how can something just disappear off the blockchain? When I say disappear, I mean like the value is going to go from being, I don't know, $1 to, you know, below $1. And you're looking at a trailing 5 zeros before you actually get to a number that's above zero and of some value. So keep that in mind. If BlackRock, State Street, Vanguard, World Economic Forum, the US government, US Treasury, European Union, if they're talking about it and that's where they're putting assets, then yeah, that's where you might want to start looking too. And I'll say this one last thing and I'm done. Speaking of US Treasury and government and BlackRock, BlackRock has a whole fund. I've been following it a little bit, but it just really started to blow up and become like big news, where they've tokenized treasury assets. So a long time ago, we talked about the steps of what would need to happen in order to get the dollar to be a digital dollar. So we know that the US has already taken steps in order to give everybody a digital wallet. Yes, you have a digital wallet. They just haven't told you how to access it yet. But everybody has a digital wallet. How do I know this? Because when they actually wrote the COVID bill, we talked about this a long time ago. But when they wrote the bill for COVID, everybody was so happy because they were going to get a stimulus check. But if you actually read within the first 50 pages, it says that it was actually a mandate that everybody got a wallet. So everybody has a wallet. It's just a matter of you getting the information and you being able to access the wallet. Now, you have BlackRock, largest asset holder, largest bank on the planet. 13% of all assets on the planet are under their management. Trillions and trillions of dollars. They just tokenized US treasuries. Well, when you think about what treasuries are and what treasuries control, they control and are controlled by interchangeably the dollar and interest rates. It's part of the Fed's mandate, essentially in a indirect sort of way. So now that you have this starting to happen, your thought process should be like, okay, at some point in time, we will get a digital dollar. So not saying when, just saying keep it in mind because BlackRock is helping it to happen. So, with that being said, I'm done with the fundamentals. I'm pretty sure Friday I'll find something else to talk about with crypto and we can probably go over some charts and stuff. But for now, that's all I've got.
Cool beans, cool beans, cool beans. Something else to add to that. Right now is exciting times for crypto. Of course, we've been talking about the Bitcoin halving coming up forever now. So we're finally at that point. We're in the month of the halving. Halving is like 16, 17 days out. So a lot of stuff is going on with crypto. So just keep your ears to social media, keep your ears to the network. Um, Something that I would recommend you keep your eyes open for is Ordinals. Ordinals is what NFTs was to the Ethereum network. So Ordinals is like NFTs on the Bitcoin blockchain. So you can go to um, let me see, ordinalswallet.com, um, and see like the marketplace and see like um projects that's on the marketplace. You can create your own wallet. I use the Xverse wallet and the Leather wallet for my Bitcoin wallets. And right now you can go on ordinals.com, ordinalswallet.com, and you can inscribe your own XBT name to the blockchain. Kind of like, I got the Pips LLC.eth on the Ethereum blockchain. Now you can inscribe domain names on the Bitcoin blockchain. So yeah, just keep your eyes out on those. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna be doing airdrops for early users of the Ordinals platform. So you might just want to, create your S-Verse wallet or a Leather wallet or any kind of Bitcoin wallet that's compatible with the Ordinals platform. And go on there, do you a few inscriptions, come up with your inscription name. For me, I did pips.xbt, and I did seed phrase.xbt. So it was only like $3.75 to inscribe it. So and like I said, I'm not 100% guaranteed, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be doing airdrops for early users of the platform. They've already done one airdrop for the early users that had inscriptions from the first half of last year. So I'm pretty sure that with the halving, and they have a new um, protocol coming out called Runes, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna be doing another airdrop when they do the heavy in the rooms, and they when they do the runes release, because they're doing the runes release right after the heavy. So I'm pretty sure that everybody that's been using the Ordinals platform is probably going to receive some kind of airdrop. Yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. Also, another thing, you remember in the last crypto bull run, we had everybody on, we had shit coins, meme coins, we had BlockFi, DeFi, all that good shit. And right now, what we got going on is SocialFi. So it's basically like, it's literally like engaged to earn networking, right? Where you have these um, developers and these companies coming out with all of these engaged to earn apps, engaged to earn games, right? To where you're just engaging on Twitter, you're sharing each other posts, commenting on each other posts. You're earning for engaging. And so that's the new movement that I've been seeing in this new era that we're in this bull run. So that's another thing that you might want to, look into, especially if you're a bit social media person like I am on social media a lot. Why not be earning some coins in the midst of your entertainment or your social media networking or whatever you do on social media? So I just wanted to share that with you guys before I brought it to a close. Of course, I'll take any questions after I bring it after I end the recording. So With that being said, I just want to thank you guys for coming out tonight, tuning in, getting this knowledge and empowering yourself. As always, if the classes are adding any value to your lives, feel free to like, share, and most of all, subscribe on YouTube. It really helps out a lot. If you're interested in joining the private Telegram group, go to precisionpipsllc.com and sign up for the silver package. Please let your family and friends know you love them while they still here. And as always, peace and love, everybody. You know